My final video for Spire the Watcher is finally here, and today we're going to cover how to complete your solo files for this dungeon on Titan. Now if you've watched my other Titan guides, you might think that this video is going to have very similar setups, but you might actually be surprised with what subclass we're going to run for the second account. But just before we get into the guide, if you ever need any help or are looking for more information, make sure you stop by the streams or hop in my Discord. I'll try to help you as fast as I can, but I might be in the middle of something, so I just ask that you give me some time to finish up what I'm doing. Alright, let's get into the guide. Starting off with what we're going to be running subclass-wise. Arc or Solar are going to be our best options. Now you might be thinking, whoa, Arc? Something besides Solar? Yeah, crazy, right? But I actually think Arc works very well for the first boss during second encounter, since you can't easily get Pyrogyro gauntlets off there. And Hammer of Soul sunspots become useless when the boss starts to move away. Besides Arc, we have Solar, which will work pretty well for all encounters, but really starts to shine during the final boss where you can get off a ton of damage with Pyrogyro gauntlets. Now for some details of each encounter. First encounter, you can run whatever you want, because this is just straight mechanics, and there's nothing here really that will do a ton of damage. Just run something that can proc some sort of healing, like Solar Grenades, Void Devour, or the health regeneration that you get off of Arc melee kills. I also am going to highly recommend an Eager Edge Sword, just to make moving around faster. The second encounter, like I stated earlier, we're going to be running Arc Titan with Pierce of the Falling Star to match with our Thunder Crash. You don't really ever take enough damage throughout this encounter to just fall over and die, and with Pyrogyro gauntlets being almost useless on this boss, I figured the occasional health generation off of our Arc melees and the instant burst damage of Pierce of the Falling Star would easily be enough to beat this encounter. Although if you're having some problems surviving, I'm going to recommend sticking to a full Solar loadout and rock something like Lorelei Splendor to have that extra safety net. Regardless of what subclass you want to run, we're going to be rocking either linear fusion rifles, like the Taipan 4FR or Cataclysmic, or we're going to be using Leviathan's Breath. The reason why I'm not going to recommend aggressive frame linears is because this boss moves backwards pretty fast, meaning the critical hitbox, the headshot, for the boss is getting smaller and smaller. And if you've ever used an aggressive frame linear for damage before, you know that it's going to be pretty hard to land every shot on a smaller hitbox. Cataclysmic with 4 times the charm bait and switch, and Taipan with triple tap frenzy are two options that have good rolls and are craftable. When running these linears, I also paired it with either Witherhoard or Izanagi's Burden for extra damage. Then for the final encounter, we're going to swap over to our Solar Synthoceps loadout to burn the final boss down. Synthoceps isn't needed, but I like it for one-shotting the Minotaurs and doing big chunk damage to the Hydras. Then just before damage, I end up swapping to Pyrogyros to get off the big damage that we need. While I don't normally suggest swapping any sort of gear mid-run, there should be almost zero adds when damage is starting, and you have a ton of extra time to settle down. Realistically, you can just run Pyrogyro for the entire run, and that's most likely what will be in my dim lane. Alongside all of that, we're going to be running Dragon's Breath with a good fusion rifle like Scatter Signal. Dragon's Breath mixed with Pyrogyro gauntlets makes it super easy for ignitions and boss daggers, which means if you do this right, and if the game doesn't bug out, the boss should never move while you're doing damage. This allows us to play closer and get off our best possible DPS with our fusion rifle. Worst comes to worst, if you don't want to play super close and or are just having issues keeping the damage rotation, you could just run any sort of rocket that does good damage, like Apex Predator, and play from far back while using something like Witherhoard for extra tick damage. Alright, now that I'm giving you a quick overview for the whole dungeon, let's move into how I'm going to build my loadouts for both Arc and Solar, and then we'll move straight into damage phase examples so you can see exactly how I play. Alright, so starting off with our loadout, first encounter, run whatever you want, throw on an Eager Edge Sword just so you can get around faster. Anything auto is pretty good too, auto rifles, SMGs, you know, same thing. But for our second encounter, we're going to be running Arc Titan, Thunder Crash, Towering Barricade. I just like having the cover. I'm not going to recommend using thrusters here unless you're never taking any damage, just because this barricade is like it's kind of like it's a failsafe, a little safety net. So you can block off a side of damage and then shoot the rest. Whatever jump you want, I like Strafe the best. I know a lot of people like Catapult. I don't like it, so I'm just not going to run it. Seismic Strike, Shoulder Charge is what I'm running here. I like it better than using the Ballistic Slam, although if you want to go up and down, or if you want to go down faster, you could use your melee for that. And then Thunderclap isn't bad either. I just don't ever see the need for it, really. So, whatever. Pick what you want here. I'm going to use Seismic Strike. For grenades, I'm running Pulse Grenade. Pulse Grenade, I think, is the best for damage in general, but we're not really going to be using our grenades here for damage anyway, so you could maybe run something like Flux Grenade. It'll stick to the boss and do full damage. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe you could do some insane lineup with Lightning Grenade and just, you know, you could be different, but whatever. Touch Thunder and Knockout we're going to be running. Knockout's how we're going to be getting our health regeneration up, so this will make us amplified as well, which is very nice. And then Touch of Thunder is going to enhance our grenades depending on what we use. I have this on just because when we're getting kills with the Pulse Grenades, it makes Ionic Traces, which means we're getting our abilities back. So, there you go. Juggernaut, pretty useless. I mean, I wouldn't say it's pretty useless. It's more of a PvP thing, so up to you. Spark of Haste is what we're going to be running. There's honestly a lot of these can be interchanged, and I'll show you that in a second. But here's what I'm running. Whenever you're running, you have increased resilience, recovery, mobility. Very nice. Spark of Instinct, when we're low, we burst arc around us and we jolt everything. It's just to like stun the combatants, make it easier to kill them. You don't necessarily need this one. Spark of Feedback, our melee damage will be increased when we get meleeed, and you get 10 resilience, so this is a very nice one. And then Spark of Resistance, when we're surrounded, we are more resilient to incoming damage. So these aren't set in stone, honestly. If you were going to swap anything out, Spark of Shock will, give you extra grenade damage, or extra, you'll get more damage out of it because you're going to be jolting targets. So this is probably the worst one I would pick out of all these. It's still very good. I'm just saying I wouldn't run this out of the next couple ones. Spark of Amplitude actually is very good. Rapidly defeating targets while you're amplified, which you're going to be amplified the whole time, will create orbs of power. Don't know what the cooldown is, but if you don't want to run a Siphon mod, you could potentially run this instead. And then you have Spark of Magnitude. This just makes it so your grenades last longer if you want that. And I don't think there was anything else here that I necessarily think was good. Finishers make you amplified if you want the extra time recovery from that too, but yeah. These three right here, I think are very solid as well. So you can interchange those as you want. For weapons, we went over this earlier, Leviathan's Breath or a linear. Running in linear, you can swap to Wither Horde, get the extra bait and switch off if you're using that, Cataclysmic, or Izanagi's Burden. Up to you. Or you can just run whatever you want here, like a fusion rifle. Most of your damage is going to be coming from this anyways, but the Wither Horde is some extra damage, easy bait and switch proc, and then Izanagi's a solid, like, what, 100k minimum damage, so... I don't remember if you're supposed to run a kinetic or I think you run one kinetic for that. Anyways, the build I'm going to show you right now is for Leviathan's Breath, but I'll tell you the mods to swap out for anything else. Oh, let me show you the full mod real quick. Here it is with the bug build. Oh yeah, y'all fuck with the bug build? Let me know in the comments. Anyways, starting off with the helmet. I actually, normally, what I would do is I would have 2 heavy mods on and 1 harmonic. The issue is, and I'll say this later in the damage phase examples, I tried running Ikelos SMG, but the mag size is so small and the damage isn't as good as Callus that it takes, shooting the eyes on the Harpy takes forever, the boss. So I actually sacrificed one of these mods and ran Solar Siphon instead because I wanted to use my Callus mini tool. This is up to you. And honestly, you might actually want to run something like hands-on to get your super back faster, because one of my phases I actually didn't have my super in time because I was just fast. So heavy-handed, just make sure you're running something to generate orbs, so a Siphon mod, or you could maybe use that aspect I was talking about earlier. Heavy-handed as well on the side. This will make us some orbs, and then when we're amplified and we're meleeing stuff, even without using shoulder charge itself, we are getting orbs of power after this. If you're using Leviathan's Breath, Void Loader mod is almost like a need, like you need this. This will increase your DPS significantly. And then if you're using something like a linear fusion rifle, you could throw on a loader mod for that as well. Void for Titan and Solar for Cataclysmic or any other solar weapon. You will, like, loader mods and dexterity mods are honestly kind of slept on. So anything else here, if you just want to, make your cooldowns better, whatever. For the boss itself and for like resistance, you're going to be running Arc for sure. And then Void, I have Solar on here, but Void for the Minotaurs, and then Concussive Dampeners for the Minotaurs as well. The Harpies, you could maybe run Sniper Damage Resistance, although I don't think there's anything that's far enough away. I don't remember, I think it's like 21 meters or something, or like 51. Some weird number like that, where this will actually come into play. So I don't think anything is ever really this far, unless it's something like Vogue or one of those Lost Sectors. I forgot what it was. So you could double stack arcs here, but just run whatever you want, and then, have like a separate piece on the side to swap the reserves, or you can just run reserves. Up to you. I'm running 3 Surge mods here for Leviathan's Breath. And then, if you want to keep it safe, you don't want to swap boots, put on a Scav mod. Same thing for your linear, you're throwing on your Surges for that. Simple. And then for the Mark, time dilation mods, I'm always running 2 for almost every DPS phase. I'm always running 2 time dilation mods. Just because, depending on what you're using, if you're consuming armor charges with Argent Ordnance, even though you're not going to in the second encounter, the extra time is extremely useful. I honestly will never run no time dilation unless it's a mechanic encounter, or I'm like patrolling or some stupid shit like that. So that's the arc loadout. We're not gonna go over the weapons again. I'm gonna quickly show you Actually, we'll go to the weapons again. I lied. This is the solar loadout. This is actually the same loadout as my Warlord's Ruin, and honestly, I think the rest of my solar loadouts are basically the same for this. So, for the third encounter now, solar, we'll quickly go over this. Burning Maul, because you need this for Pyro Gale. Towering Barricade, jumps up to you. Running your hammer, and Healing Grenade. These are all basically set in stone. Obviously, the jumps up to you. Aspects of Roaring Flames, we're going to be getting way more damage off of our super for this, our abilities for this. Please make sure you're running Roaring Flames. And then Soul Invictus, this is how we're making sunspots, and we're getting restoration off of this, so we don't always need to use our Healing Grenade. Consecration is pretty useless, don't even worry about it. Ember of Torches will make us Radiant, after just getting powered melee hits, very nice. Ember of Ashes, we're applying more Scorch stacks to targets. Ember of Solace, our Radiant and Restoration effects are initially increased, so it goes from 3 seconds to 6 seconds as a base cooldown. Base cooldown. And then Ember of Empyrean, whenever we're getting solar, weapon, or ability final blows, we're extending that Radiant Restoration. So these two in the middle are optional. Ember of Solace is a nice, honestly, I'm going to recommend this one still. It's just a nice, it's a nice fallback. If you, for some reason, proc Radiant Restoration and there's no ads nearby, you have 3 extra seconds to go increase it. Nothing else here is really useful. If you're going to run something besides Healing Grenade, you can run Ember of Resolve, but whatever. And then for final encounter, I'm running Scatter Signal. Here's my roll right here, Overflow Controlled Burst. And then Dragon's Breath, obviously. The Catalyst is very, very useful. And honestly, if you're this far into the season, you should probably have it. It just makes the auto-loading faster. So run that. Whatever solar weapon you want, or whatever weapon in general you want. I'm going to recommend a solar weapon. Match with our mods, which I'm going to show you right now. Harmonic Siphon again. All of these are basically the same. Except I am going to recommend taking off, or putting on Concussive Dampener here. And then Void again. Because the boss is Void. Harpies are Void. Sorry, not Harpies. Wyverns are Void damage and Concussive as well. And there's Minotaurs for Concussive Dampener. So run that as well. And then everything else is the same. So we're going to be running Solar Weapon Surges and Scavengers if you want that. Time Dilation. I'm running 2 of those. Heavy-Handed again. Solar Dexterity I'm running for my Rocket Launcher. I just like pulling it out faster. Pause. And then you don't need a loader mod because you're not reloading any of your weapons. Scatter Signal, you might you probably reload. But if you reload it, it's going to be at the end of damage phase. So up to you. Heavy-Handed again. And then Solar Siphon so we can make orbs. Okay. I think that's it. Trying to think if there's anything else I'm missing. I don't think so. These dim links will be in my Discord as well. So just look out for those. If you just want to join the Discord real quick, grab and leave, up to you. Obviously, you can stay if you want. But that's it. If I left anything out, let me know in the comments. Pop by the stream, let me know as well. Whatever. Discord, you can let me know there. And I think that's it. All right, we're going into damage phase. Thanks, guys. All right, starting off first encounter, pretty straightforward. Just like in the other guides, it's if you watch those, it's just memorizing the path for all the nodes, making sure you have your arc cushion, and staying alive. So you're gonna be throwing your hammer to start the sunspots restoration. You can use your healing grenade to panic if need be. You could also run something like, it's like one of the marked mods, the class armor mod. It's like it gives you overshield when you're doing a finisher. It's not necessarily healing, but you get some extra resistance from that. Some extra hit points. So up to you if you want to run that. But if you're just running around the whole time, even without restoration, I feel like you should be fine. Obviously, restoration is very useful though, so take that as you will. But just make sure you have the paths memorized. They're all very straightforward until the final part where they do a little they cross the lines once, and that's about it. I'm also using Eager Edge the entire time here. Sorry, I don't know why I did that. I did this all live yesterday on stream, so there might have been something wrong with OBS or chat or something. So that's what I try to do now, is I try to record all these while I'm actually streaming. You know, I like just knock them out both at once. Got people coming by, you know, saying what's up, they're watching, giving me ideas and stuff. Like, I think if Freecast is watching this Freecast, he's telling me to run up some Whisper of the Worm, but I don't have the fucking Catalyst, and apparently the Catalyst is super good on that. I got the gun a really long time ago, but I just never got the Catalyst. Forgot how to do that for a second, no big deal. Final floors is where everything crosses up. there is one actual useful tip for this I can give you, is that we're going to first start, so I don't need Arcturian here, I'm just getting my Radiant, whatever. So we're going to start this side of the nodes, right? We're going to make it all the way to the other side, complete 180. And then once we get there, we are going to not finish the nodes, we're going to actually do a whole 180. So right here, we start the second to last one right there. Did I not? Okay, no, okay. I was going to say, I saw the red hit markers, I thought I got it there, apparently not. So right here, forgot to get one of the nodes again. It's, if you see my mouse, I think you can. Like, right down. So forgot a node, no big deal. Going back in that. But instead, we're going to turn around and start the other side, so then we can just finish them both at the same time. We don't have to do a whole other trip. Well, not even a whole other trip, just, you know, a couple extra second saves. But yeah, first encounter, super easy. Not much to say there. For the second encounter, this is going to be our Arc Thunder Crash loadout. I'll have both the dim links in my Discord. But if you don't want to go into the Discord, it's really just Thunder Crash. Like, there's not a lot. I think I have, like, the Sprinting with Resilience mod on. The one where you jolt when you're low. I don't have the Grenade mod on because my grenades aren't... I might have it actually on in this run, but in my dim link, I turned it off, I think. So, I didn't really optimize my arc build here because there's not... Well, the fragments are good, but they're not, like, game changers, you know? So, and grenade damage isn't going to be a thing here because the boss moves, so. You could do something like the magnetic grenade if you want to have it stick to the boss. Sorry. I don't think lightning grenades will stick to the boss or anything, or I don't think there'd be any place where you could put a lightning grenade. That would make it good. Sorry, I'm fucking voice cracking and I'm yawning and all this shit. This is like the first like real conversation I've had today. And it's not even with anybody, it's by myself. Isn't that awesome? Anyways, before we finish all the nodes, we're gonna leave one up so that we can get our armor charges up. And killing some of these harpies is really nice too. I'm running Callus Mini Tool here. It's just because I like the gun. I actually tried using Ikelos so then I could use Harmonic Siphon. I actually ended up dropping one of the heavy ammo mods because Ikelos is just not good. Like it's fine, but shooting the eyes for the boss was just not very efficient with the Ikelos. You actually lose a lot of damage. All right, so before damage starts, you're gonna shoot all the eyes, and then if you're using Leviathan's Breath, you just go straight into Leviathan's Breath. But if you're using Wither Horde, you're first gonna start off with Thunder Crash for both of them. If you are using a linear, you're gonna Wither Horde, then start your linear. But if you're using Leviathan's Breath, you're gonna go straight into Leviathan. So I'll show my damage for linears because it's very straightforward. You don't really need a guide on how to damage the linears. So every damage is gonna start off like this. So boom, Thunder Crash. And then as soon as this is over, if you're using linears, you're gonna stick them with Wither Horde, then swap to your linear and do damage. Easy. That's if you're using Cataclysmic Bait and Switch. Sorry. If not, then you can use Taipan, and you can just shoot them over and over again. Easy. I'm using Cataclysmic though for my other damage, so I'm gonna stick them with Wither Horde and then shoot my linear. Proc Bait and Switch. 35% extra damage. It will be 30% damage when they nerf it next season, whatever. Over here, we just swap to Leviathan's Breath and get straight into it. I don't remember if I have a Void Loader mod on for this. I think I messed up and forgot to put it on. Worst comes to worst, this is without it, and the damage is still 20 above a quarter, so, you know, whatever. If I did have it on, then there's the damage right there. So see U right there, right above the U, right in the middle of the U. Way over a quarter. Quarter would probably be like at the beginning of the R, or the end of the R right here in current, second R. Then I'll show you the linear damage. So right in the middle of the U there, the linear damage just barely above that. So run whatever you want. And this was the bait and switch too. And this was a full mag, and I got 2 extra shots off at the end. So there's that if you want to see that. And then for the final encounter, this will also be in my dim links. It is Scythoceps, and then we swap Pyrogale. You don't need to actually run Scythoceps at all. Most of the boss, or most of the enemies can be killed pretty easily. I just like one-shotting things and killing stuff as fast as possible. And I'm on PC, so I can swap stuff pretty fast. But I know if you're on controller, you might want to run Pyrogale the whole time. So yeah, it's very straightforward as well. You're just doing the normal dungeon mechanics. That's kind of the issue with these older dungeons, is most of it is self-explanatory. I'm kind of just giving you a loadout. But I figured it wouldn't hurt to show you how to do it as well, just in case, you know, you're newer. So, just watch out for supplicants. Hitting them with a hammer, I don't think explodes them, if I'm correct. And I don't remember, but you will see in here, probably. Sorry, yawning again. Before we finish the entire phase, again, we're going to... There's a panic nade right there. You won't really need your nade for damage phase, so don't worry about it. It's not like Hunter. But before we go into damage phase, we want to make sure we have at least 3 armor charges. And we want to get our Roaring Flames up. So you can't see Roaring Flames, once again, because, you know, Bungie's game design is amazing. Their UI interface is flawless. You can't actually see what our Roaring Flames is at. So try to prioritize getting 3 melee kills, or 3 enhanced melee kills beforehand, so the powered melee or the melee without the hammer when it's on fire, like that right there. I see it right there, my Roaring Flames times 3 for 6 seconds, procking it again right there. Pretty sure I go and kill the other Minotaur just before. I'm going to swap the Pyrogale as well. And then re-proc Roaring Flames, and then go straight into damage. Rotation's going to be Pyrogale, Dragon's Breath, 4 fusion shots, Dragon's Breath, 4 fusion shots, Dragon's Breath, etc. Right here, I don't know why my guy decided to hold his hammer out for that long. This is like the 3rd time it's happened. It's only been this dungeon. I don't know if it's me just spamming my keyboard like spamming my 1. Nah, I don't know. Whatever. You probably get a little more damage off of that. But yeah, Pyrogale, Dragon's Breath, 4 fusion shots, 3 fusion shots if your charge rate is fast enough, or I mean if the auto link's fast enough, depending on whatever you're using for your Dragon's Breath. But pretty straightforward. Nothing crazy. You could probably run Arc here too if you wanted. Although the boss, the reason why the Dragon's Breath is so good here, again, his damage is great. It's phenomenal. But the staggering and the ignitions keep him still the entire time with Pyrogale. So you won't take damage from the boss if you do it right. You will probably die if you don't do it right. So you could play far back, use like Apex Predator or Dragon's Breath again, and then use maybe like, I don't know, a sniper. Although the crit isn't the easiest thing to hit here, so up to you. If you're gonna run a sniper, run Supremacy. It's like Kinetic Tremors, 4 times the charm, or rewind rounds. There you go. So yeah, there you go. I think that's it. Again, if I miss anything, let me know. I'll make a follow-up comment, or I'll post something in the Discord. Probably both. So that's it. Play the outro now, and I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching the video. If anything helped, please let me know by leaving a like, comment, or subscribe. Before the final shape comes out, I should have all the dungeon guides out for all classes, which means you should be able to conquer any and all dungeons on whatever character you please. I also make Tarkov content, even though I haven't posted any recently, since the game hasn't been super interesting at the moment. And I might switch over to making some other content soon, so let me know if that sounds cool. There's a members program if you want to join that as well. It's just for supporting the channel, and you don't get any sort of real benefit. You'll get some badges for the live streams, cool Discord role, and maybe early access to videos if I post them early enough. Just remember, this is a subscription-based model, so please cancel whenever you're done. Alright, that's it. Thanks for watching, and hopefully, I'll see you around.